Welcome to The Explainer. So if you're feeling completely priced out of the traditional housing market here in 2026, I want you to know right off the bat, you're definitely not alone. It's incredibly frustrating, right? I mean, every time I glance at the news, home valuations in major metros are literally skyrocketing, and everyday buyers like us are just getting squeezed tighter and tighter. But today, we're going to completely flip the script. We're looking at a super fascinating strategy from Land Limited that shows exactly where and how savvy investors are finding unbelievable real estate value completely outside of that traditional market. We're going to hit the road, explore some amazing spots, and actually dig into the financial mechanics of how to make it all happen. So get comfortable and let's jump right in.
Okay, let's dive into this reality check. Just think about Los Angeles for a second. Right now, a microscopic slice of their housing inventory, literally just 5.2%, is considered affordable for the average buyer. That means a massive 94.8% of the market is just completely out of reach, no way around it. And look, it's not just LA. Places like San Jose and a bunch of other coastal cities are getting hammered by the exact same extreme supply crunch. When you actually stop and look at the numbers, it makes total sense why people are desperately looking for a plan B. Trying to fight over that tiny 5.2% slice, that's a game most of us just can't win anymore. The whole traditional route of saving up for a standard suburban home is hitting a giant brick wall.
So here is exactly what people are doing instead. The root of the problem is traditional urban housing. It's plagued by skyrocketing valuations, that extreme supply crunch we just talked about, and super rigid traditional banks that make it basically impossible to qualify. But watch what happens when we completely shift our paradigm to rural, raw land. We're talking about incredibly affordable acreage, massive off-grid potential, and just pure recreational freedom. It isn't just a different type of real estate, it's a completely different lifestyle and investment philosophy. Instead of fighting tooth and nail for some overpriced, tiny lot in a crowded city, everyday buyers and future homesteaders are realizing that raw land is absolutely the ultimate, most accessible path to property ownership in 2026.
So how about we map out our geographic road trip across the country? We're going to highlight exactly where Land Limited is seeing active inventory and crazy good value right now. We'll basically look at three distinct lifestyle tiers. For the truly self-reliant, we're going to head up to the remote frontier of Alaska. Then we'll check out some incredible homesteading hubs in Colorado. Perfect if you're into tiny homes or weekend camping. And believe it or not, we are even going to find affordable off-grid retreats in California. Yeah, California, with gorgeous tree-studded acreage. By breaking it down regionally like this, you start to see that affordable land isn't just a myth. It actually exists in some of the most stunning parts of the country, depending on exactly what kind of vibe you're chasing.
Let's start our tour with a state that normally terrifies anyone on a budget, California. But hey, we're not talking about LA or San Francisco here. We are heading way up north to Modoc County, specifically around the California Pines area. This spot gives you the chance to grab expansive, tree-studded acreage for a mere fraction of what you typically pay in the state. You completely bypass California's crazy housing market. So if you've been dreaming of an off-grid retreat, a private camping spot, or honestly just a really smart long-term land investment in a place where land is historically at a premium, this region tells a totally different story. It proves that even in the most notoriously expensive states, incredible value is hiding just a few hours away from the city centers. Next up, we're heading out to the breathtaking heights of Colorado. Now, the broader metro markets there have absolutely exploded, pushing traditional homes completely out of reach for first-time buyers. But an amazing opportunity is still hiding out in Colorado's southern and high-elevation mountain regions. I'm talking about places like Costilla, Saguache, and Park counties, all situated right around the gorgeous San Luis Valley. This is where you actually find those wide-open spaces, dramatic mountain views, and most importantly, affordable parcel sizes. According to the source material, these specific counties are literally primed for sustainable homesteading, building out tiny homes, or just having a permanent spot to escape for the weekend. It's that classic Rocky Mountain dream, but actually scaled to a price tag you can afford. Now, if your dream is a little more rugged, let's take our journey to the ultimate frontier, Alaska. Finding truly raw, untouched wilderness with real isolation is getting nearly impossible down in the lower 48. But up in Alaska, specifically in regions like the Lake Iliamna area, the opportunity is absolutely unmatched. The Land Limited inventory highlights parcels that give you direct access to world-class salmon fishing, amazing hunting, and just pristine wilderness. This isn't just a casual weekend getaway. This is for the truly self-reliant folks out there looking to build a serious off-grid homestead. It's the kind of boundless freedom that literally doesn't exist in urban real estate anymore, and it's surprisingly accessible if you just know where to look.
Finally, we absolutely have to talk about the Heartland and Southwest options. Places like Missouri, New Mexico, and Texas are ranking super high right now for their overall cost of living advantages. What's really fantastic here is the sheer diversity of the topography. You can find heavily wooded rural acreage out in Missouri, or if you prefer, these massive, peaceful desert expanses down in New Mexico and Texas. And crucially, these areas are showing steady inventory growth while still giving you easy access to regional hubs. So you get all the isolation and peace and quiet of rural land, but you aren't completely cut off from civilization when you need supplies. It's a really well-balanced approach to land ownership. So, here is the absolutely crucial question. We've seen where all this amazing land is, but how do you actually pay for it? Because let's be real, finding the land is only half the battle. If you still have to go groveling to a traditional bank, deal with their strict debt-to-income ratios, and somehow scrape together a massive 20% down payment, well, we haven't really solved the affordability problem, have we? This is exactly where traditional real estate completely fails the everyday buyer. Those rules were designed for suburban houses, not raw, limitless acreage. So how do we bridge that gap? How do we take these incredible regions we just toured and actually get your name on the deed without having to jump through all of Wall Street's hoops? Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how Land Limited's alternative financing structure completely deconstructs that whole traditional banking model. Honestly, it's a real game changer. Step 1, direct owner financing. You get to skip the credit checks and bank qualifications entirely because they offer guaranteed approval. Step 2, low upfront costs. Instead of saving up some massive down payment, you're looking at a low initial investment and totally manageable monthly payments. Step 3, zero prepayment penalties. That means you can pay off your land as fast as you want without being punished for it by a bank. And step 4, which I think is incredibly unique, flexible property exchange. This whole structure shifts the power entirely back to you, the buyer, letting you budget on your own terms. I actually want to pause on that fourth step for a second, because this quote directly from the source material is wild. It says, if your goals shift from a desert escape to mountain timber acreage down the road, you can seamlessly roll your equity into a different parcel on our platform. Just think about the flexibility and peace of mind that offers. You aren't locked in forever if your life circumstances change. Plus, the source notes they offer a full 3-day refund guarantee. The whole thing is designed to be a completely no-regrets purchase. That kind of agility is completely unheard of in traditional real estate, where selling and moving costs you thousands in closing fees and commissions. Here, your investment just naturally evolves right alongside your lifestyle. Which brings us to our final, provocative question for this explainer. Are you going to let the overcrowded residential housing market keep you from owning real estate? The data, and really all the strategies we've looked at today, prove that you absolutely do not have to play by the rules of a broken system. You don't have to fight over that tiny 5% slice of affordable urban housing. By just changing your perspective, looking at raw rural land, and using alternative financing that skips the bank entirely, the map suddenly opens wide up. Whether it's the mountains of Colorado or the incredible wilderness of Alaska, true value is out there waiting for you. Thank you so much for joining me as we mapped out this fascinating landscape, and I really hope this leaves you inspired to rethink what property ownership can look like for you.